Yes. It is Wednesday, and guess what? Welcome to another edition of the Flex Zone. I'm your host, Mikkel Ramos, and this is where you can get your sports how you want it, when you need it. Now, if anybody's been following the news, they know that we got hit hard by Jonas. Got some big snow here in the East Coast, so due to those sorts of casualties, it's only 3 of us in studio today. I normally have my other usual suspects, Byron, D, Roger, but today it's the originals. We the voices. Just like the Temptations, you know, they need the voices. We're the voices. Anyways, really good dance. Cravante, hello.
What's up, Mikkel?
Dre, hey.
Hey.
Really? Oh, my gosh. But anyways, it's been a long time since us 3 have been in a room together. So this shall be very, very interesting.
What are you talking about? You can catch us every Thursday on WEAA 88.9 FM, the voice of the community.
What a plug, Drake.
On the NWA, wait a minute, like Sean would say.
The infamous,
the notorious NWA Sports Report.
But there's a difference. You can catch all 3 of us on that show, but then we have other personalities. This is really like nitty gritty. Like I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, you're looking at him. This is us. This is like the Stone Ages of radio. Look at this room we're in. It's small. Normally we're in the big studio. We even changed locations. Anyways, go like us on our Facebook page, The Flex Zone. Follow us and comment on Twitter, Periscope, Snapchat, and Instagram at The Flex Zone 1. If you have any questions, ideas, or possibly want to be a guest, please send us an email to theflexzone1@gmail.com. Tonight's show, the latest in NBA news, and of course, we got to touch the Sunday that was the NFL Divisional Championships. Social medias, people. If these people want to get in touch with you guys, they want to follow you, Cravante, how can the people get to know you, bro?
Crevonte Hurd, CREVONTE HURDE. That's Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, Crevonte_H, and of course, at the Flex Zone 1.
Dre, the people want to holler at you. How?
On Twitter, Be More and Show Off. On Snapchat, Be More and Show Off. IG, Black America Dream, and Facebook, Andre Melton.
And you can find me on Facebook at Mikkel Ramos. That's MYKELLRAMOS, Ramos, the last name. And on Instagram and on Snapchat at Mikkel Sade. MYKELLSADE.
Ramos.
Public service announcement out here, people. They have more fun with my last name than I do with my own. I don't know where
it's part of a
came
phrase.
from.
It's part of a phrase.
I don't know why you thought that was going to work with the iPhone staying on there like that. That's a new person.
Let it go,
He's
man.
0 for 2. He's trying to periscope us, people, but it's not working. Anyways, let's move right into this NBA talk. News of the day. Friday, to be exact, correct? As the snow was falling.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing we hear across the screen, first thing we see and hear, David Blatt, fired, gone, Trump voice, as head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the man was, 30-11?
Yeah, that year.
They're leading the Eastern Conference. They went to the championship his first year, but he gets fired. Now, the guy that takes his spot, Tyronn Lue. Now, Tyronn Lue has been respected. He's played in the NBA. He's been respected by the players, respected all around the league. However, the last time we all remember Tyronn Lue, the momentous moment in his career wasn't a grand one. Shout out to Allen Iverson.
It wasn't his best moment.
It wasn't his best moment. It was Allen Iverson's best moment.
One of Allen Iverson's many.
I mean, that's on shirts, posters. Everybody refers to Allen Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue. But anyways, David Blatt fired. My personal thoughts, he was fired due to an emotional standpoint. When you're a championship team, or people think that you're a championship team, you want to see people clapping, shaking hands, being happy. You like the Carolina Panthers, who we'll get into later, because they look like they're happy winning. They look like they like each other. The Warriors, they look like they're a family. Their kids even are family. Cleveland, we don't even know if the big 3 even call each other and tell them.
They don't like each other like that. They really don't like each other like that. And it shows on the court. They don't have that chemistry that the Warriors have. They don't have the chemistry that the San Antonio Spurs have. They don't have the chemistry that any of the greats in the NBA have, and it shows on the court.
Let's go back. This is a tale of the same first halves of 2 different seasons. Last year, let's be real, the big 3 comes in, Kevin Love is not happy with his new role. It's obvious he does not want to go off the pick and roll. It's obvious he's not used to not being the guy. They all get hurt. Takes some time. They finally get back together, but by the time they get back together to figure it out, it's not like they're going to figure it out with a championship. Kyrie Irving gets hurt. Kevin Love does not play. LeBron James is left to his own demise. This year comes around. They're together. The gang's all there. Kyrie Irving comes back. He's trying to get in the swing of the things. They're 30-11. But they're, 17 in offense, 2 in defense. The cylinders aren't clicking. Why?
Well, see, the problem with the Cavaliers are their two strongest players do best in ISOs, and they do great in one-on-ones. But obviously, when you go to the Western Conference, which is who they're going to play one of those guys when it's all said and done, they really exploit teams that play one-on-one. You can't play one-on-one ball against the Spurs or the Warriors because you will get killed. You need some type of ball movement going on, some kind of ball movement. And David Blatt definitely caught the short end of this stick.
Some coaches out there, Rick Carlisle spoke about it, and Mark Jackson wasn't a fan of it. Well, of course he would be.
I would say, Mark Jackson,
I mean, it's not the way a coach should be fired. I mean,
not at all.
He was fired because of emotions. Do we buy into the concept that LeBron James was not brought into some sort of a meeting and consulted when it came to the firing of David Blatt?
I mean, like on my end, I legit do believe that he really didn't have any say-so into David Blatt being fired, because if that's the case, then David Blatt should have been fired over the summer. Let's be real. I mean, I know he took them to the finals, but let's be real. They went to the finals kind of in spite of David Blatt. He made a lot of coaching mistakes. Remember, Tyronn Lue had to save them in the Bulls series. Remember when David Blatt was about to call the timeout? Clearly, he seemed to get out coached by Steve Kerr, during the finals. But it just seemed like it seemed like a layover from the players to now ownership. So I think it was really just a matter of ownership. We've seen it with Chip Kelly, where, I mean, even if the players don't like you, once you cross your relationship with the owners, that's when it gets to, okay, you're getting fired.
Well, I don't know how it was between him and between David Blatt and the owner, but I know between him and the players, it wasn't clicking. And look, you can't convince me that LeBron James doesn't know any. LeBron knows about every major thing that's going on in Cleveland. He of course he knows. He probably didn't know it was gonna happen that day.
Well,
I'm sure he knew that was gonna happen.
LeBron James said it. He was told when everybody else was told.
Whatever. Sounds good.
And if everyone heard Griffin, their general manager's conversations they had an interview with him on during the game. Apparently, he said, and I kind of sort of didn't buy it. Nobody wants to tell the truth. Just say he was not the guy. Don't sit and say, well, we feel that.
Right.
You're going through this
because it doesn't matter now. It already happened.
Like, let's be real. Y'all didn't look like you don't look like a championship team. You guys aren't getting along. He's not trying to help you guys get along. They don't like him. We don't like him. And you got to go. Why are they sugarcoating the decision?
Because they know they wrong. They know they're wrong. How you going? Because you got to come up with something. You fire somebody that was 30-11, and he was 40 games. I think he was about 40 games over the 500 mark. You have to explain. You can't go in there just flat out like he wasn't the guy. What you mean he wasn't the guy? You need so much more. You got because that's why all the coaching fraternity showed up, and they came up. Van Gundy and all the boys, Rick Carlisle,
Eric Spoelstra said something.
Everybody.
And look how Eric Spoelstra got his job.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like you need to have somebody need to write something up, because you can't go in there just all on the whim, because
the coach
you
gate.
wrong.
The coach gate.
Because you know that's wrong.
I found it very. I found the undertone to this whole David Blatt firing being the big three just wasn't working, people.
No,
this is an experiment that is not working fast enough. To be honest, and let's be real. Let's they lost to the Warriors twice. Christmas, everybody, I believe in statement games. Everybody wasn't saying it wasn't a statement on Christmas. Let's be real. Everybody was waiting for that game.
Oh, yeah, it was Christmas.
Then they lose. Then they was like, okay, you give them that one. It's too early in the season. Okay, when you lose by 30, What do we say about them now?
The second time, right?
And all the big threes in attendance this time around. So I don't think they have what it takes to beat the Warriors or the Spurs.
No, they don't.
With the big three or not.
They don't. And that's why, and I always go back to the point where when people say, "Oh, if they would have had the big three last year, they would have won."
Let it go.
No, that's not true. That's not a guarantee, and that's not true. It probably would have went to 7 games, but I don't think they would have won because they still play the same type of game. And on top of that, Dellavedova, we wouldn't have known anything about Tristan Thompson or Dellavedova if the big three were actually playing.
And Tristan Thompson, I'm gonna need you to play like you was worth that money, bro.
I'm saying, and that's another mistake. It is not another mistake. That's not David Blatt's fault. Why do you pay that man that money? That was his first year showing you anything. You never pay a guy the first year.
But he's not going to go anywhere else and make that kind of money. And he's not going to be able to go anywhere else and make that kind of impact.
Which is why you shouldn't have paid him that much. If he's not going to go anywhere else, bring the price down.
I mean,
the market's not there for you.
I thought Moskov had a better series than Tristan Thompson.
Well, LeBron James has a lot to factor in for that. Remember, LeBron James was the one who was like, you need to pay this man.
And I'm sure LeBron had an impact in this firing as well, too.
Well, let's talk about Tyronn Lue, who gets his first one. Who did they play?
Minnesota.
The games you're supposed to win, right?
He won that game, but he lost.
He lost to the
Bulls?
The Bulls.
The Bulls on the first NBA on
the
primetime game on Saturday night.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that showed me something because I really thought the Bulls would have lost that game. But
no, the Bulls showed up. Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler showed up.
But then they lost to the Heat.
This is a very inconsistent
And then
team.
the Heat the night before, and then the Heat when the night before, I forget who they lost to, but it was on the same night that Kobe scored 81. Kobe scored 81 on a team and sat out the fourth. They allowed 81.
And that's something.
Found it very interesting. But now the style has started to change. Apparently, David Blatt's way was kind of slow down tempo. Tyronn Lue has started to try to up the tempo a little bit more. It's obvious that he's getting through to these guys. They're ignited by the change. I mean, it's the second half, almost getting to the All-Star break, almost getting to the second half of the season. Will we see a significant change, or will we not see another change until next year? And by next year, if you can't get it together by then, LeBron has made no excuses in saying he will go without caring who cares this time.
Well, it depends on what you mean by what do you mean by improvement? Are they going to win the championship this year? No. Will they play better? Hopefully. Like it's too early to look at it right now. I'd probably give it a couple months, but definitely they do need to run. But the problem with them running, they're out of shape. They're badly out of shape.
And that's another test to David Blatt. Another thing that they said against him also was the fact that, I mean, let's be real. You play with the best player in the world. I mean, you coached one of the best players in the world.
The best player.
Right, I mean, at that point that they hired David Blatt, they thought they were in the rebuilding process. Kyrie Irving signs the max deal.
Which is another
LeBron
reason why.
LeBron James comes home. Kevin Love says, I signed on the dotted line. That spectrum becomes huge.
Yeah.
Cleveland becomes it's almost as equivalent to Cleveland playing in New York.
Yeah, it's really huge because he wasn't ready for that. David Blatt did not sign up for that Cleveland Cavaliers team that he had now. He signed up for Kyrie Irving, Wiggins, and who else was on that team? And Tristan Thompson. That's the team. That's the team that he signed up for.
That he could have probably worked with.
And I'm sure he could have worked with. He eventually got to it because they would have gave him time because, like, we're in a rebuilding mode. We'll give you time to get this together. Man, LeBron came home. They traded Wiggins, got Love. What am I supposed to do now? You just gave me the best player in the world who has more clout than anybody. I feel like anybody in the NBA right now.
And how disrespectful to a degree when I can't tell you what to do.
Right. And when you can't, and number one thing, see the thing about the NBA, it's a players' league. It's not a coaches' league. If you can't get your superstar to buy in, you can't get the rest of your team to buy in. And obviously, LeBron being bigger than life in Cleveland, he couldn't get him to buy in. Cleveland ran that team. How many times have you seen LeBron walk away from Blatt on the court, walk by him, walk out the hubble, push him to the side, just be mad disrespectful in front of everybody?
Well, remember, he was disrespectful with that one play where Blatt had called I forgot what play it was exactly. LeBron was supposed to get the ball inbounds to him, and he ignored it and took the game-winning shot or something like that, wasn't it?
Right.
So that Princeton offense and that overseas play definitely was not a translation for him.
I don't think. One knock against him.
Rumors are he's to coach the Brooklyn Nets.
I don't think the Princeton offense is going to work in the NBA.
No.
He needs to give up on that.
Get off.
Yeah, because it barely works for Princeton. So I don't think it's going to work for the Texas level.
Rumorville is he goes to Brooklyn.
I didn't hear anything about that. Is that what it is?
There's a rumor out there that he goes to Brooklyn. I don't see it.
Wow.
But I mean, I could. But then again, remember the owner, comes from that European background, so it's a possibility.
Okay, well that's news to me. But by all means, he deserves another coaching job.
Oh yeah,
you
no
know
doubt.
they say there. I mean, there's a point in every superstar's career. They said at one point Kobe was detrimental to the Lakers. Could LeBron James be detrimental to the process of what it's going to take to win a championship and have a championship mentality in Cleveland? I don't know if anybody's ever thought of that question.
I think he's detrimental to the Cleveland Cavaliers and a lot differently than Kobe is to the Lakers. Kobe's detrimental to the Lakers on the court. LeBron is more so detrimental to the team by the intangibles that he does off the court, like his influence and how the Cleveland Cavaliers make their decisions, because he's obviously still the best player in the world right now. Well, Steph Curry will have something to say about that right now. Of course, Kevin Durant and a lot of guys have something else to say. But I think his as long as he can still play on the court, they'll win. But championship-wise, I don't know. I don't know. I think he has too much. I think he has too much influence.
2 for 7. What's that going to mean?
It ain't good. It ain't good.
Y'all can't even get it out.
It ain't good.
But I mean, it's similar to, and I know we're going to get into Peyton Manning in the next segment, but at least you have a chip on your resume. Multiple ones at that. And that's more than a lot of people can say. Granted, we thought LeBron would have had multiple championships, meaning like at least equivalent to
3-4.
At least 4.
4, yeah.
Kobe, Jordan numbers. But I mean, it doesn't look to be that way with the Spurs, the way they're playing. Stephen Curry still young. We don't know the situation with Kevin Durant and Westbrook. But in the East, I'm just saying in the East. In the East, it doesn't, and the teams in the East are only getting better.
Yeah.
I say, look at Porzingis.
Yeah.
Look at the Knicks.
And the Raptors.
The Knicks had a 6-game win streak. Their largest since 2012.
And I ain't heard nothing from Melo. Melo is quiet as ever.
Except that one time he went off on Barkley.
And when Melo's quiet.
Well, Barkley deserves it.
When Melo's quiet, there has to be a 40-50 point game going to come from somewhere.
When Melo's quiet, it's great. That means things are going well in New York. Melo's quiet. I ain't heard nothing from Melo since the beginning of the year. He's doing well, and let the young guy take over and hopefully preserve some of your career. Cause you know how I feel about Melo.
He got one 50-point game in him. I love Carmelo.
You know how I feel about Melo, but
we digress. I mean, in a league where your favorite players might be on the same team, I mean, why can't you just stand on your own? If LeBron, last question about the Cleveland Cavaliers, this experiment does not work. Where does LeBron fit? Elsewhere.
I know he better not leave.
You kind of sort of have to stick it out at this point in time.
Don't do that. He gonna get crucified worse than he did the first time. Don't do it. You better stick it out and try to win.
As long as he doesn't have a television series about it.
I mean, either way, because that's the second. Remember, they did this to him already. And if he leaves again, and most importantly, if he leaves and goes somewhere and wins,
he has to suffer because they put him in a difficult position.
He put himself in that position.
He can't
LeBron controls. He had free agency hostage.
LeBron decides to go to New York. Him, Carmelo, Porzingis.
Ugh. No, they're not gonna win either.
I mean, I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, I'm just throwing out teams in the.
I'm just saying he go anywhere, and then they'll.
And we have a free agency where we still don't know. Granted, and these guys don't talk about playing away from each other. I think everybody tries to make them away from each other more than they do. We still don't know what's going to happen with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, because their free agency is in 2 different years. So, yeah, we really don't know.
Let's move on to another guy in the Western Conference. A guy you want on your team, a guy you need on your team. But as good as he is, he can become a cancer to your team. DeMarcus Cousins, 56 points, people. 56. But do you want to deal with DeMarcus Cousins?
If I was the Kings, no, because the Kings are not a good team, and he's not that good, whereas though he can take them anywhere.
But why not? I mean, look at those years that Kevin. This league has changed, man.
A lot.
Look at those. Kevin Garnett stuck it through with Minnesota. It took them a minute for them to get him. Spreewell was his help, and they finally got out of the first round. Like DeMarcus Cousins has. We know you suck. We see you suck. You know, I mean, not DeMarcus Cousins.
She's talking about the Kings.
Okay.
Relax.
DeMarcus Cousins is great.
No, he's great.
He's great.
Okay, let me correct this. We know the team isn't playing of the caliber of the teams in the NBA. We all can see it. You know it. I'm pretty sure on the inside, it's not the best of arenas to walk in and do your job. But do your job. Stop. Why are you complaining? Kevin Garnett, how is it that a guy like Kevin Garnett could take that in and be like, okay, eventually one day we will figure it out? And guess what? It happened.
But eventually,
did he get a chip in Minnesota?
Didn't he leave?
He didn't, but at the same time.
Didn't he leave?
Then how did he
left,
figure it out?
But he left on a good note in Minnesota, and guess what? He's able to come back towards the end of his career to end with the place where he started. You get what I'm saying? I guess what I'm trying to say is when you know that your team's going through a bad stretch, is it in your best interest to go off every chance you get?
Well,
Kobe did it, and look what happened. He made them turn it right around, didn't he?
No,
we're not
it's
gonna talk
not.
about Kobe.
It's not.
And when you're in a bad market like that, and
It's not good because DeMarcus Cousins, we've all seen his antics. He's not the most mature player.
and who's to say you're gonna go to a good team and this is not still the antics that you're still gonna have?
Right. Well, first of all, he needs to go somewhere where he's not necessarily the best. I'm not necessarily to say the best player, but he needs to go to a team where there's a veteran on the team and that can like knock him upside his head. Because
relax.
there's nobody to do that with the Kings. So that's why he could do whatever he wants because he knows he's the best player on the team and there's nobody that's going to talk. Rondo going to talk to him? Ain't nobody going to talk to him any type of way, tell him like, yo, you out of line.
Rondo
he needs
can't
to
talk to himself.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But he needs to go to a team where there's a vet that can shake him up. And that's what I'm saying. Like the Kings will never go anywhere.
The Spurs were a thought, correct?
I think the Lakers were more of a thought than the Spurs.
Yeah, the Lakers were more of a thought, but then
and Kobe would have been the perfect person, but unfortunately Kobe's at the end of his rope now, so I don't know about that.
Moving forward, the main event last night, 10:30 to be exact. No Tim Duncan, so Spurs and Warriors meet. The Warriors demolish them. Steph Curry, 36?
I think at 37, and they ain't played the
sits
fourth
out the fourth. They had a meme on Instagram saying this is how Draymond Green and Steph Curry spend their fourth quarters, and they're laughing and joking.
That's real, man.
Sitting on a bench.
And see, them like that, their careers will last forever because there's a whole quarter that they're not playing. So that means every 4 games, while everybody else is playing 4 games, they're playing 3 games. So their career will last forever. Because they're not. I think they said this is his 13th time, Steph Curry, that is, that he hasn't played a fourth quarter. 13.
He sliced and diced through that defense. He sliced and diced through Kawhi Leonard,
Tony
which
Park,
was
everybody.
surprising because everybody loves. When they say, both sides of the court, he's one of the most invested in the game at this point in time. Him and Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it very ironic. But however, the backdrop, Tim Duncan does not play. But with or without Tim Duncan, I don't think they have enough.
No. I think with Tim Duncan, it changes the whole dynamic of the whole game, and I think
just a tad. But do you think?
I mean, it is hard to beat the Warriors at home, but with Tim Duncan there, I think it really changes the whole dynamic of the game. And I would love to see Game 2 with Tim Duncan in there and to see how that matchup would be.
The Oracle looks like such a happy place. It's sunshiny, everybody's smiling, it's yellow in there.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
It's loud. The crowd doesn't even have a chance to be quiet in a loss.
Nope, they don't. They yell from tip off to the game over.
How far is 72? Is it fully in grasp?
Oh yeah, because nobody's better. Nobody can beat. Nobody is better than this team.
I have a feeling you're about to say something.
No, I was going to say that both teams actually are. One team I could see tying, the other team I could see breaking it.
Well,
because it's a toss-up. It really is a toss-up between these two. They're not far apart at all.
Now,
2 games, I think?
No, it's 3 games. Now, it was 2 games. But the reason why the Spurs won't go, because Popovich rests his players throughout the year, especially when he's content with where he is as far as seeding. He will rest Tim Duncan, Tony Parker. They will all get rest because they're all old guys on top of that. So they will get a lot of rest throughout the season. So he'll take losses to – no, it don't matter what team. He'll take losses.
I will say this. Last year, those losses got them to the specific seed that they had. They end up playing the Clippers. They lose.
Yeah. They messed up.
That was surprisingly. But, everybody's talking about the Spurs, but let's not forget they lost to the Clippers. And then everybody said, well, the Warriors didn't get a chance to play the Spurs. But that wasn't the Warriors' fault.
Nope. No. Say, you NBA champion. You beat everybody.
So if the Spurs lose to another team at this point in time, and the Warriors do not play them again, whose fault is it this time?
It ain't nobody's fault. It's the Spurs' fault for not making it. The Warriors gonna win again, and that's what's gonna happen because that's their biggest competition.
Yeah.
Well, OKC, because of how Westbrook plays, Westbrook wouldn't have let OKC lose by 30. No. That's not happening. No. But I'm not saying that they would beat the Warriors, but I would like
those
that.
Triple doubles
I like
are
that
going
matchup.
Off, aren't they?
I like that. I like the Curry Westbrook matchup 1-on-1 a lot better than.
I can't wait.
You don't like the Kawhi Leonard Curry matchup or
Kawhi's more of a. I don't see him guarding too many point guards that can handle the ball. Obviously from last night, he's not like that.
Cavante, can you imagine that if that comes down to it's either going to be in the semifinals or the conference finals between Westbrook and
it's a dog fight. It's a dog
the Warriors.
fight.
They beat the Spurs.
It's a dog fight.
They beat the Spurs. They beat Cleveland, and I'm forgetting
Chicago.
one other, and they beat Chicago.
30.
All within 30 statements or no?
Yeah, big statements. They beating the best.
Despite who's playing or
this is going back to the end of last year. They ain't playing nobody. We beating all the best by 30, and it all within the same week.
Lasting talks on the NBA here. Developing news today out of Clippers world. Blake Griffin breaks his right hand by hitting one of the equipment guys.
Stupid.
You already had a quad injury. Now you're going to be out another 4 to 6 weeks with another injury.
Stupid.
Was it that big of a deal?
Stupid. And that's the Clippers right there. That's the Clippers right there. And I hate to blame Doc Rivers for that, but that's the Clippers right there. That's the team he inherited.
DeAndre Jordan cries, comes back. How you have no go-to guy with all those weapons? And
overrated. Chris
Paul.
That you call overrated.
Overrated.
And it's stuff like that, like Karate said. They were supposed to be one of the teams in the Final Four. Now it's just we're just talking about 3 teams in the West right now. We're talking about OKC, the Spurs, and the Warriors. We're not even talking about the Clippers anymore.
Nope. So, doesn't matter. He's stupid. He's stupid for that because now he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, and let's see how far they last in the Western Conference. We got to take a break. When we come back off this break, we will run down what the events were of Sunday. Whew. My, oh my. This is the Flex Zone. I would tell you to come back, but, where else would you go? We'll be right back. And we're back. Of course you didn't go anywhere, but we're back. When the originals get together, who knows what really happens in these conversations. This has been a long time coming. It's been a minute.
Yeah, to say the least.
Sunday, baby. Divisional Championships. The Broncos beat the Patriots. The Panthers. Was that a game against the Cardinals?
For the first quarter. Probably about the first quarter. That's about it.
After the whole fumble, 17-10. No, it was what, 7-17?
Yeah, that was the closest.
That's the closest it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the Broncos, shall we? Von Miller.
Maniacs, man.
DeMarcus wearing that spin move.
Some monsters, man.
They had Tom Brady tap dancing all game.
All right, you go with the tap dancing.
Monsters of the Midway. No, because I seen him because I was in the group chat. I seen him tap dance. I was like, oh, I actually saw him tap dancing.
He's moving from side to side. He's two-stepping without a drink. It was real in the Mile High.
Monsters of the Midway. That's what they was.
There was one stat where it was like he was hurried 50 times, touched 7, thrown down. Tom Brady's jersey got it. The washing machine is going to get it in with his jersey because I've never seen him that attacked ever. And it wasn't an attack that was let up neither. It was a continuous attack from first to fourth.
Yeah, kept it up. I think they said he was hit about 20-something times, the most in any game throughout the year, like by far. And it happened in the AFC Championship game.
Dre, this was your Super Bowl pick. Why did the Patriots go down?
Clearly, because if you're not going to protect Tom Brady, then if you're not going to give Tom Brady,
what an investment not to protect, however. And the only man that's been healthy all year for you guys.
At the worst time, you don't protect this man. I just don't understand that for the life of me out of all games. But, I mean, at this point, for real, it is what it is. Tom Brady, despite the lack of protection, he damn near won the game.
31 different offensive line schemes.
Right. You can't. There's no consistency with that. You can't. He's been shuffling the O-line all year.
I kind of want to talk about also. I think another reason they lost this game. White is not the guy that can get some. I mean, look, when you look at the Patriots, Amendola, Edelman, Gronkowski, you're gonna look at all three of them. But you kind of sort of need an extra guy. Or a running game, Brandon Fell. But you also need an extra guy to kind of divert the attention from the obvious. And White was not that guy.
You need a run game. That's what the downfall was. When you become one-dimensional against DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, and they don't have to read any type of run play where all they do is attack, that's what's going to happen eventually, especially with the offensive line in flux the way it was.
Hey, you get up that middle, you get Tom Brady dancing. You mess up, importantly, the timing he has with his receivers. He had no time to throw the ball.
Nope. He
had to get it and throw, because if he got it and kept it and tried to actually stay in the pocket, he was going down.
Yeah, and he went down a lot. He went down a whole lot. And shout out to Wolf for he had a good game up the middle against Tom Brady, while DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller went on off the edges. It was, like I said, when you don't have a run game and you can tell your best pass rushers, hey, they're not going to be running the ball, just go out the time. That's all it is.
Let's talk about those lasting plays at the end, towards the end of the game. I mean, the Patriots always supposedly out, but never out.
Oh no, they're never out of it.
The Denver kind of gave them a long ball all game. They just couldn't connect. That up the middle pass to Gronkowski been there all game long.
Yeah, but he ain't had time to throw it.
No time.
He had a little time on this one.
Then the 2-point conversion. How are you about the way that the referees call this game? I mean, some would say Gronkowski was held in the end zone. But, I mean, if they're not calling it the whole game, they're not going to, I mean, touching in the end zone, I mean, was he brought down at the wrong time? Should have been a flag.
I usually don't say this, but good job, referees.
Woo!
You guys called a great game.
Wow.
I don't recall any penalties that was like, well, I think it was was it one hit? It was one hit. I don't know if
it's always one hit.
When he
was one hit.
But
he was tucked under. He wasn't really.
Yeah, because I think it was against Edelman.
Yes.
That was one
but
play.
But
Edelman
warrants those hits because
he always drops himself. He always do this
I was like, if the receiver comes into you, how is it unnecessary roughness if he came to me?
Right, because
that's like LeBron James going through everybody and it's a blocking foul.
It's because you have a target zone, which is getting smaller and smaller every year it seems, and Ward had that target zone, but when he's moving and ducking himself, those types of things happen. But that was one call that I was like, I don't like that call. But other than that, good game.
I mean, if it can be just one call, then yeah, you're right. They called a good game.
Let's talk about some things that the Patriots did that were a little suspect. I mean, because the Broncos basically did what they had to do. Peyton Manning managed the game, and the defense did their job. But the Patriots,
It's so. I'm sorry for.
Gostowski,
It's so hard when you say the word
manage.
and
But that's
Peyton
not bad.
and Peyton Manning
Yeah, it's
in the
hard.
same
Yeah, it's hard.
sentence because Alex Smith, yes, game manager. Peyton Manning, no.
But I mean, and Stephen A. made a good point on First Take. If anybody watched First Take on Monday, when you say manager or when you say that you have declined, you're not. It's not saying that we don't still love you. It's not saying that you're still not the greatest. It's not taking away from anything that you have. It's basically saying you are not who you used to be. And in not being who you used to be, that's something we all have to accept because it's hard. And that's something you have to accept. I mean, his football IQ is still intact. It's still there. I mean, look at John Elway towards the end of his career. And they basically followed the same scheme. Getting the offensive coordinating away from the quarterback. Peyton Manning has audibled his whole career. Kubiak's the head. Just get us through. I don't think that's such a bad thing. But let's talk about the Patriots because let's see how they manage this game. Well, first of all, the PAT, Gostowski, has not missed all year. And I guess that was the point where it could have showed you where this game would have went. When he missed that PAT. Then instead of electing to kick a field goal, Edelman gets stuffed on 4th and 1.
Nope. Bad call, Belichick. And I usually don't say that.
Some are blaming him for this loss.
Well, of course, he's the head coach. The head coach and the quarterback get the blame when you lose. And he's no different than anybody else. But I feel like that was a bad call. They were in field goal range. They should have took the field goal.
Yeah.
And been down 5, and then they were going to get the ball back because the Broncos are playing conservative. So they were going to get the ball back, and then you go for the win instead of having to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
But say that 7-8 points kind of hurt them.
I agree.
They ran out of time.
I agree with Cravante, but we all know Bill Belichick likes to take risks, and that's what happened.
Hey, and that's
we talked about the whole Bellacoin thing. I said a couple weeks ago, but it kind of makes sense. Why wouldn't he kick it to the other team and you don't believe in your offensive line enough? Granted, I would not want to not give the ball to Tom Brady, but look what happened Sunday.
Hey.
The ball was in his hand, but the ball stayed in his hand and he was on the ground.
Unfortunate.
Tough cookies.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Let's go back a little bit further. Let's forget about the in-game intangibles that might have caused this loss. Let's talk about the Jets game. Let's talk about the Dolphins game.
You sound like Skip Bayless.
I want to ask 2 games that possibly could have sent this to Foxborough. Granted, needless to say, I think Denver still might have won in Foxborough. But would that have made having home field? Did it change the dynamics for them? Because you put a guy like Tom Brady in the Mile High, who's known for not being good in the Mile High. The defense, the altitude. Was that an issue as well?
It always changes when you switch home field because we all know how hard it is to win in Foxborough. Especially in the playoffs because during playoffs it's cold.
Would that defense been able to go in there and beat them?
Sure, absolutely. If the Patriots had the same game plan, yeah, they could have got beat in Foxborough. It would have been tougher, but they could have got beat because Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware are still Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. So
the Patriots, they fire their offensive line coach. They, of course, have to get everybody full steam and full healthy. They will probably have their running game back next year.
What running game?
They got to get somebody.
They really got depleted though. Remember they had the Patriots really had a lot of injuries.
It seemed like every week that game they played the Cowboys, it just seemed like every week somebody went down.
Yep.
Luckily Tom Brady didn't go down, but where do we see how did the Patriots fall into the scheme of things next year? Are they still contenders?
Yes, the Patriots will always be contenders.
Always.
The issue this year was really the injury bug just really hit them. The offensive line, it was a lot of injuries on the offensive line. Brady had got his pieces back in order, but you see that with a depleted offensive line, he didn't have time to really set his feet and make motions for his throws.
Game ball, not so game ball in this game. I think for me, let's see.
Game ball for me would have to go to the defense because the Broncos
game ball got to go to that Broncos defense, of course. I think we all will unanimously say that correctly.
Von Miller.
Vonnie.
To DeMarcus Ware.
Both of them.
Did you see that spin move? Nobody can master that spin move.
Sick. No. Dwight Freeney.
Dwight Freeney back in the day. Marcellus Wiley tried it a couple times back in the day. Remember Marcellus Wiley?
Yes, I do remember Marcellus Wiley.
Wow, that's back in the day, San Diego, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, whew. But I don't even know what that's like the how they gave us the new emoji with the tornado. It's like, how does he even? You don't even know when he turns around. Like,
nah, and tackles are at bay because they're moving backwards.
how you move back from a spin move? I would think you would try to cut off the spin.
But because he can spin both ways equally,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter which you think he gonna go inside because he can step outside and still spin outside. You know what I'm saying? So
Or he can push you down and spin and get. Oh,
that's what
my
I'm saying.
goodness.
Like you at bay, just try to take away the inside first because that's the easiest way to the quarterback. But shoot, that outside he's not slow. So, but since you guys are gonna go defense, I'm just gonna go Wade Phillips for the game ball.
Wade
Then
Phillips.
I'll go with Wade Phillips for the game ball then.
You don't go try to be a head coach again.
Hey man,
Don't you dare.
just don't go to the
Stay a
Cowboys.
stay a defensive
Hey,
coordinator.
no. I'm all about progression. Just don't go to the Cowboys.
How I like them Cowboys.
And
Not so game ball.
not so game ball. Carson Palmer, by far, not even. It's not even.
No,
close.
now he's. I was still talking about the first game, but I mean, if you want
Okay.
to say,
Okay. We
I
can
mean-
we can do that. Not so game ball. Offensive line. Brady.
That's where I was
I
going.
might gotta
offensive-
go with Gostowski. You gotta make that kick, brother.
I mean,
Yeah, he another one because
Hey, it's
he
another
missed
And
an
then,
extra kick.
and then when everybody could break down why you missed that kick, the way he kicked his foot, and then the snap was good, and I'm like, the laces weren't lined up. I'm like, dog, you got one job that
There
you've been
you
doing.
go.
And the sad part
all
is,
year.
all year, and then when it's money time, they just not coming through.
We've seen 2 kickers in the playoffs.
crucial misses.
Shout out to Minnesota.
And I can't even really say the game.
And that was a chip shot.
You can't say the game ball. I mean, the not so game ball for Tom Brady because he was the one who actually brought them back and put
If it
them in
wasn't for-
position.
He had the will to actually continue to play. He played through. And the funny thing about it is everybody called him a crybaby. Tom took the punishment. He took the beating.
Did you see the one article that said like the Broncos defensive player purposely like was sacking Brady so that way like his nuts could be in his face? I was like, come on, dog.
What?
Yeah.
I was like,
Really?
come on, dog.
I found it funny that prior to I forget the Denver Broncos defense was talking about how Tom Brady was a crybaby, and I was like, do you really want to give this guy ammunition to run over you?
Hey, when you don't got a run game, I guess that helps.
Anywho, moving on. Carson Palmer, you're not so game ball, but where's the train?
Train
The
stop.
choo-choo Arizona train
Tracks
you was
ran out.
running.
Tracks ran
We
out.
all saw what happened to them in Seattle, and to me, that was inconsistency from one week to the next. Carson Palmer,
They went 13-3. You mean inconsistent? They 13-3.
they lost from kickoff.
Yes, they did. Yes, absolutely. I'm not. Hey, the tracks
They
ran
were
out.
dabbing
The tracks ran out.
2 minutes into the game.
I drove the train, and I told everybody that was on the train with me, like, yo, second quarter start. Hey, yo, this is it. This is it, y'all.
The whole Panthers get a game ball.
Hey, yeah, man. The whole squad. Shout out to Mike Shula and John and McDermott, Sean McDermott and Mike Shula for the
Ron
offensive
Rivera
coordinator
and the
posi-
job he's
position.
done
Riverboat Ron.
in Carolina.
Yeah.
Dabbing.
And let us
What a
go
turnaround.
back to what was Carolina. Let's face it, this team was 7-9 last year.
7-8-1.
Barely made the playoffs. Made the wild card. Cam gets $104 million. Some say he didn't deserve that.
Oh no, I was all for it. I was all for
Calvin Benjamin goes down. They had no target. They are the most complete team in the NFL this year. Both sides of the ball
that. Oh, I tell
had
you.
no discrepancies.
Oh, I tell you. that,
15-1 almost went for greatness. Cam Newton unhandedly MVP. And doing it with, in the public service announcement, we're going to make this on the Flex Zone. If you have any personal problems with Cam Newton, shove them. This whole classless thing, and you mad, bro? For what?
Yeah, they just find a reason to pick at him.
And speaking of that, because this steam rolls right into Super Bowl 50. Super Bowl's turning 50, baby. Guess what happens? Broncos, Panthers. What? And I agree with Stephen A. What storyline do you buy?
Man.
The new kid on the block, the new generation, the guy that's propelling it to not just new heights on the field, but a new way of thinking about doing your job. He makes kids happy. He makes families happy. He's changed the whole culture in Charlotte. Cam Newton wins his first Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Or do you allow the veteran, the man who's done it all the time, the one we've always believed in, if Cam is classless, he's playing against the most classiest in the NFL. They've never had. Have you ever had anything bad to say about Peyton Manning?
Nope. And as of late, the only thing
That
was
Al
close
Jazeera, and where the heck did that go? Out
exactly,
the door?
exactly.
This man put them out of business. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Do you allow him to run out into the sunset? And if Cam does not allow that, the only man standing in his way, or that defense, by the way, Cam is the villain.
Actually, Cam is the villain in this situation because it's similar to John Elway basically all over again. People are always going to say that Cam Newton is going to have his time. You know, he's
he could
young.
do it later.
He's young.
Who's to say that's true?
He's already got the MVP. He's made it to the Super Bowl. While Peyton Manning, this will be his fourth trip. But my issue is that
who's to say they turn into the 49ers next year? Next year.
I mean,
Not to say they will,
legit, like your window for a championship, you never know if you'll get that opportunity again. And if you do, look at the Seattle Seahawks, a team that's, their window may be closing right now.
We all know how godly they are.
But you see with the Patriots how great those teams have been, and they've only had 4 in the Belichick era. I mean, granted, 4 is a lot in anything, but your window, you're not guaranteed a championship multiple times. We see it with many great players. So,
because you get to the dance, don't mean you're gonna get there again.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Last year, everybody thought it would be the Patriots and Seahawks again.
So if I'm Cam, I'm going lights out. I mean, granted, I feel sorry for Peyton Manning that, you're going up before it was Russell. It was Breeze, Russell, and now it's Cam, and it just seems just like the Panthers' time.
And to be honest, it's not even about Cam. It's just the aura that is the Panthers. It's just been, they're not acting. This is how they are. They love each other. And this has been a whole trend. This has been a whole culture. This is just their time.
Man, it's been a minute since I actually felt like this, but
it's been beautiful to watch too.
But this is a Super Bowl where it's like I'm not mad either way. Like, cause last year I was definitely against the Patriots.
We would be crying for both Cam and Peyton.
I'll be congratulations, and I'll be straight out congratulations. I can't be mad either way because Peyton Manning, I've been saying it I said this at the very beginning of the year. I don't know if y'all remember or not, but I was saying if Peyton Manning, I would love for Peyton Manning to get one more and retire. But I didn't know Cam Newton was going to have the year that he had. And I'm all about, my black quarterbacks getting it.
I love that. The funny thing about it is they mic'd up Bill Belichick and Peyton Manning when they shook hands towards the end. And Peyton Manning said, this might be the last time we get a chance to do this.
Man, we knew that. We know that.
But it was monumental for him to say that because some were saying that he wasn't going to retire. I mean, look at it this way. Brock, he was a backup quarterback the first time he's been since Tennessee to Brock Osweiler. Brock Osweiler makes a couple of mistakes again in that San Diego game. You cannot have a Hall of Famer sitting on the bench, and we never know if we would have won this game. Resurgence. In a career that was not resurgent.
I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Because he ran for a first down.
Yeah, he did. Him and Tom both did some uncharacteristic things.
Tom had the longest run in the game from not even from the running back. It was 11 yards.
At that time, yeah, he had the longest run of the game. But Peyton, I'm glad it happened. Things worked out the way that they did because how would he have ended if his career would have ended with him on the bench? Oh my god!
If he doesn't win, is it okay?
I think it is. I mean, I said,
it is.
because he has at least one chip and he's been there multiple times.
Omaha, one more time.
It's never. I'm never gonna say it's never okay to lose, but for Peyton Manning, it is.
For everybody saying that he was through.
Yeah.
At least I'm gonna be through this way.
Right. Yeah.
Omaha.
I'm all for it. And if he loses to Cam, hey, that's not.
I love Omaha.
That's not a bad guy to lose to.
You love Omaha and I love dabbing.
Going to the Super Bowl.
Hey man.
Gotta face Cam Newton. Okay. The battle of the defenses, because this is obvious where it's gonna be. However, the difference: Denver's defense punishes. However, Keely and the boys in Carolina, not only do they hit you, they smack you around, but they turn points into deflections, sacks, strips. They going in for 7.
It's all about opportunities, because that's what.
Who wins the matchup? Von Miller and the boys, Josh Norman, Keely and the boys.
Ooh. Oh man, the Denver Broncos have their work cut out for them because they're not gonna be able to just get after Cam Newton like they did Tom Brady because Carolina has a run game.
I mean, in Carolina, he be back there clipping his toenails, eating pancakes, shouting out the dabs before it's time to dab. He has all the time in the world, and not to mention, you're not only dealing with, and you're okay. And say the pocket collapses. It's Cam Newton.
He got it, and on top of that,
he
we
might
got
have
a
more
mobile
rushing
quarterback.
yards than he run.
We got
and he's
mobile.
one of my guys, a Russian QB's back in the Super Bowl, and guess what? You doubted them.
Listen, number one, throw from the pocket. He can do that.
Number 2,
a lot of them can't, which is why, for the most part, I don't like how they're not the smartest. But Cam is 6'5".
There's no reading.
250.
There's just playing smart with him.
Cam Newton 6'5", 250. Don't nobody want to tackle him.
Are we waiting for the rest of the gang to come back to say who wins Super Bowl 50, or can we give our predictions? Mr. Andre, you are the executive producer, sir.
I mean, I'd rather, keep the people on edge when we have our buddy Ralph talking about the Vegas, what Vegas thinks next week. So, I mean, I'll save my picks for then, and also it'll give me time to actually think, because especially since, Cavante was driving you were driving it, baby. And what?
I was driving.
You spent a lot of time in here.
Yeah, I did.
This postseason in the heart.
No, I didn't. I only spent this past weekend. Well, with the Redskins, but no, the Redskins had a legit shot. Though.
We had a shot.
The Redskins had a legit shot, even though that's my team.
I lost that one.
They had a legit shot, but
I think I did good in the postseason. I wish we had the numbers here.
I did good. Everybody knows the record except for you.
I did good in the postseason. Only one I think let slip through the cracks was the Redskin game.
Anyway,
but we had a shot.
Anyway, listen. This past weekend, I did choose my heart in both games, and
it would be interesting to see what Byron had to say about Tom Brady. But I mean, his points. I mean, you're gonna see how immaculate Tom Brady is. I mean, we also saw his jersey on the ground too.
Hey man. In the end, they still almost had it. They almost came away. Almost.
Broncos, Panthers, Super Bowl 50, February 7th to be exact, on CBS in San Fran.
Yep, Santa Clara.
Yep.
And I guess the 49ers just built that stadium, so you already know it's prime for a Super Bowl.
Beyonce's back.
Oh gosh, pay the light bill, baby. Pay the light bill, baby. She's back.
I don't know who else they're gonna have with her this year.
Bruno Mars, Katy Perry.
She's coming back.
Is it U2 as well?
What?
Katy Perry's coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an okay show.
It was an okay show. With who?
Bye. Please don't get him started, please.
Katy Perry.
Please.
Katy Perry shut the house down. Did she not have Missy Elliott up in there?
And that's the only time.
I don't know, Cravazzi. I don't know why you shaking your head. You know you was jamming.
I was upstairs eating some food. That's what I was doing.
Yo, come on, Katy Perry. I know this is a little off
the Super Bowl party. He didn't come back downstairs until
I heard
Missy.
I heard Missy. I was like, oh snap!
I don't understand how y'all weren't down. Like they had. Katy Perry has plenty of hits.
I like Katy Perry too, but I don't. But let's
don't.
be real. Did
Fireworks.
Did you like?
I don't. And you're trying to convince me it's making it worse.
Last Friday night.
Look at his
You trying to
face.
convince me it's making
Roar?
it worse.
Did you
You trying to
enjoy-
convince me it's making
did
it
you
worse.
You can work out the roar.
Did you enjoy all the dragons and the lollipops?
Of course,
and-
of course.
dolphins
Oh
and
my
sharks.
gosh! Like she did. I wish she would have had Snoop Dogg come out and do California Girls. Like that would have been hot. I'm mad that me and Omar didn't play California Girls when we were in
We're
California.
gonna end the show on that note. Broncos, Panthers, Super Bowl 50, San Francisco. We're gonna wait on those picks, but we did it, guys. The show's over. We want to thank True Sounds for our theme song. Don't forget to like us on our Facebook page, The Flex Zone. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope at The Flex Zone 1. Check out our YouTube channel, The Flex Zone. If you have any questions, ideas, or possibly want to be a guest, you can always send us an email to theflexzone1@gmail.com. Tonight's show is executively produced by Andre Melton. Our senior producer, changing the titles, is Crevante Hurden. Our associate producer is moi. Thank you for listening. And until next time, when we have everyone, the regular crew, we gone. And I'm going to say it like I say every week. I'm Kevin McHale. My name is McHale, like Kevin McHale. And it's mine, so I can say it. It's over. And I messed it up. I don't mess it up every time, but I messed it up this time. It's over. It's only three of us.
She said I'm Kevin McHale.
He will. Please don't sue me. The copyright is not in there. I
It's
don't.
in the process. It's in the works.
Yeah. Whatever.
Peace.
It's over. Bye.